Alright, first off, we've got a First World Bank stage from Payday 2. And it's rough. Like, I almost don't see how you could have ripped this screenshot this badly. In the colors they went through, like, what happened? Also, you're clearly walking on the edge of this, planter? I don't know what to call it. But yeah, oh man, this is just the worst. Like, maybe it was sepia tone to begin with, but I kinda doubt it, and even if it was, I'm sure you could have ripped it better. Not keep it. This is Waterfalls from Legend of the Keepers. And this is an immediate obvious keep. It looks great. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, like, amazing. If I wanted to be an asshole, the shadows are like going over the edge. So maybe the shadows could be tightened up, but I don't care. This is Aztec Ruins, also from Legends of the Keepers. And once again, obvious keep. It looks really nice. At first I wondered why it was animated when, like, it didn't have to be. But that's because I didn't look up top. Because there's a flame up there that's, animated. Because otherwise it would just be like this weird grainy effect happening for no reason. And it came with a zoom version. And the zoom version is the version I'll be keeping. Because you get to see more in it. Get to see the flames way more obviously. Yeah, obvious keep, high quality. Here we have a stage based on the PS2 Startup screen. And, oh boy. Okay, so if you're gonna attempt this and, like, make this stage, at the very least, you're gonna have to make it animated. Like, without it being animated, it's just not gonna fly. Even if you had to only run it by, like, 20 frames per second, or, like, I'm not 20 frames per second, but 20 frames, like, total of animation back there, so it's, like, really slow and choppy, that would still be better than nothing. So, yeah, no, this isn't working. Also, you know, it's kind of hard to tell on a plain floor, but I'm pretty sure there's sliding issues as well, so... Nope. We have Jungle from Dyna Gear. Now, I like this stage, but I noticed two things right away. Now look near Kung Fu Man really closely. There's like these little two gray lines that are just floating in the air here for no reason. So like, I guess that was like something he clipped when he was doing sprite work and then forgot to clean it up. Also, if you watch the tree line really closely, yeah, like watch right here where I have my cursor. See the void? It's being exposed back there, just ever so slightly. Yeah, so two flaws, but the stage in general is great, so keep it. I'll fix it up if he doesn't fix it up. I'll give him like a couple weeks before I fix it up myself and release it, because it's so minor. I don't want to like do a stage surgery on something so minor. Got a Metal Gear Rising stage, Sundowner. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this is a hodgepodge, and I don't like hodgepodges. Like, it looks a little weird, too. Like, the graphics on this helicopter pad are all jagged and weird looking. Also, the floor is sliding! Yeah, like, Hinata there is clearly sliding to the around. Which shouldn't be happening. I assumed he used high-res equal 1, because that's usually what causes these fucking problems. We got another Metal Gear Rising stage. And I assume it's another hodgepodge because I doubt you could take a screenshot of that game that would look like this, but I could be wrong. Now, I don't think this floor is sliding. If it is, it's like so slight I can barely tell. This is noticeably better than the last one, but if I find out where the hodgepodge elements came from, I might just keep those instead. Another 5 Nights at Treasure Island stage. And while it is dark, which was my complaint with the other ones, you still can see a lot more in this one without it being hidden, so I would say it's slightly better on that aspect. But there's nothing wrong with it that I can tell. You know, there's no sliding. Yeah, there's no sliding. It's fine. Next up is the Spirit Tree from Legends of Aether. Now, I still think the stage looks pretty good, but it is not quite as crisp as the sets of Legends of Aether stages that were in the last video by a name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. But yeah, this is still keep-worthy. Before I go into this stage here, I should point out that it's 278 megs. It's freaking huge. And so when I put the stage up, you gotta ask yourself, is it worth having a stage that's that big? Because on slower computers, that's gonna lag the fucking Mugen. Yeah, I half expected this thing to be like the full Persona 5 intro with that file size. But no, it's just some stars rotating down the sides, and this screen of the characters doing their like break attack over and over. It's not worth that file size though. So, hell, I think you practically need a Mugen Archive membership just to download the thing. Okay, this is Factory from Friday Night Funkin'. And I can tell you what I like immediately about this stage. The scale doesn't seem completely fucked, like pretty much every Friday Night Funkin' stage that I've come across so far. So that's an immediate plus. And there's enough detail here to keep. Okay, we got Neo Philly from Friday Night Funkin'. Okay, like, the player bound seems maybe just a tad tight, but considering they're almost walking into the walls already, I can kind of see why they did that. That part doesn't really need to be fixed. However, we look here at the top, this building looks cut off in a, like, really unnatural way up here. And I can see the exposed void at the top, too. Same thing with the building on the right, you can tell that it's just clipped off. So, I would have to basically either fake the top of that art to keep the sky intact, or trim off a bunch of the sky, which I don't want to do. So maybe I'll go in here and try to fake the art, but I don't know. This might just be skipped over, because that window's going to be hard to guess like what it was supposed to originally look like. But yeah, that's this one. It's not too bad. Okay, we have Philly from Friday Night Funkin'. It's a little too zoomed in for my taste, but otherwise I like it, and I especially like this train in the background that's going by. I think that helps the stage quite a bit. Like, yeah, it's nice. Another Friday Night Funkin' stage. MMF Vs Ruv. However, it's a static image, and a badly ripped static image at that. And even if, like, I was going to keep the static image, which I'm not, I'm clearly walking on the characters. So yeah, this one's a mess. You gotta do better. You got so much competition in the Friday Night Funkin' department at this point. So, you can't just do a static image. Yeah, nope, I'm even walking on this pillar. The stage does not work. Corruption Deathmatch from Friday Night Funkin'. As usual, the characters are freaking huge. And the player bound is way tighter than it needs to be. Like, Kung Fu Man should be able to walk all the way to the left. I don't know why it's tight like that. Like, maybe I could rescale this to fix it? I don't know how much is like hiding, but because if I make Kung Fu Man as big as this guy here, that's gonna be practically the entire stage. But artistically, it's not too bad if you ignore the fact I'm walking on the characters and that they're huge. Okay, this is Stress from Friday Night Funkin'. And we have Walking on a Picture Syndrome. And I'm clearly walking on the audience in the foreground. So, and even if I wasn't, I'm walking on the wall in the background, like where it curves around. So he would have, the Z offset would have to be put much lower, and the audience would have to become transparent. Not to mention the background is clearly a frozen animation, which I don't like. So this one's getting a pass. The song doesn't suck though. Okay, we have two variants of versus Sonic.exe for Friday Night Funkin'. And this first one here, Boyfriend is, I guess, a variant of Boyfriend. Like, I'm not really into my Friday Night Funkin' lore. I didn't even know he was Boyfriend until like a month ago. But, so yeah, that version of Boyfriend. And here we have the other version of Boyfriend. So yeah. There's no sliding. It's just the scaling problem as usual. Okay, this is a first. This stage is actually from Roston, but they didn't swap out the default stage name. This is Kung Fu Man's stage name. And clearly this is not Kung Fu Man's stage, nor a Mountainside Temple, which is just funny to me. How did they miss that during testing? Like, they've got to, like, if they're like me, they, like, you know, pop in and out of the stage to tweak it, like, over and over and over. How did they miss that they didn't rename the stage? But, the stage is actually pretty decent. I'll probably rename it. But yeah, I'll keep it. Next up, we have a stage based on a arcade game called Pengo, where you push blocks around to crush enemies. And when I saw this on Mugen Archive, I was like certain there was going to be a bunch of animations in the background, really like selling the stage. I half expected it to be a static picture, or it was either that or a static picture, but no, there is no animations. Wow, I am sucking at doing the uppercut. And there's nothing up there but Black Void. Yeah, kind of disappointing, honestly. But I assume if you had a Pengo character of all things, this would be a good place to put them. Okay, you got Sunlight Altar from Dark Souls. And that background looks really familiar to me, but I don't think Dark Souls is a sprite art game, so I don't know what it's really from. I think like I remember seeing like a music video that just like plays like a certain genre of music, and then they have this night guy in the background just sitting around while the music plays. Like, I think that's where it's from, or wherever that's originally from. It's not too bad. Maybe like the scaling issue might be there. It's not really that bad though. It's probably not worth fixing. I feel like there's something funky going on with the lighting. Like, there's like a seam there I can see, and maybe it's being cut a little low. I don't know. It's still pretty good. Needs some music, of course, but it's still pretty good. Protect the Gallimimus. This is from Jurassic Park. And this works really good as a Mugen stage. There's like a lot going on. And I appreciate the extra effort put into making all these animations. I will say that the player bound is too tight. But fixing player bound is not worthy of a stage surgery. I mean, I can teach you how to fix a player bound if you really can't figure it out. But, yeah, it's really nice. So definitely keeping. Got an Earthworm Gym stage here. And surprisingly, it works really good as a stage. Like, I was banking on it probably being trash, but no, it works. It's pretty good. Lots of detail moving around. The floor is pretty well defined. Lots of space upstage. So yeah, keeping, definitely. Got a Binding of Isaac stage. And I do not like it at all. It's blurry, it looks messed up, like, I don't even know what method they used to get this wall, but, like, just straight up art would have been better. Not to mention, if you're gonna have, like, a Binding of Isaac stage, shouldn't you not put Isaac in the background? Oh well. I like stages not featuring too many characters, so they're, more open to who can occupy them. But I think this does solve the mystery of what basement I was from in the last stage select visit video. So yeah, nope. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is an original stage, even if it's based on a certain video game. Now, this is really nice. I'm gonna be disappointed if it turns out it's just a big bunch of hodgepodge. Now, I will say the spaceman in the background makes a scaling issue, because clearly if Kung Fu Man walked over there, he would be smaller than that. But the video game theming is Space Invaders, because over here in the background, you just got this giant Space Invader stuck in the ground, which is pretty comical. But yeah, I'll definitely be keeping this. Included with the stage is a zoom variant, which I'll be keeping over the normal version because you can see more. Though, I'll probably rescale this in a stage surgery. There is a ton of, like, upper space in stage 2. And rescaling it will probably make it easier to see all that. But, yeah, I like this stage quite a lot. We got a stage from Freedom Planet. And it looks really nice. This is like an obvious key for me. Yeah, the scale's not even wrong either. Like, I could see Kung Fu Man sitting on this bench. So yeah, definite keep. I'm surprised this stage exists. We got a stage based on Where's Waldo. If you don't know, Where's Waldo is this, like, infamously bad NES game. Why would you make this? Not that there's anything, like, wrong with it, like, technically. Like, there's no sliding or any issues I see. It's just kind of an eyesore. And that's not really the fault of the author, it's just not for me. Okay, we have a stage from Home Improvement from the SNES. And I like the stage, but there's clearly like a sliding issue on the floor. And the stage needs to be shrunk ever so slightly to look nicer. Because once again, if you compare Kung Fu Man to who's in the background, Kung Fu Man would be noticeably smaller by the time that he got to that guy. If he's the same size as that guy, it causes conflict. But yeah, all this needs is just a minor rescaling and I'll fix the floor. It should be good. I'll definitely be doing a stage surgery on this. Okay, we got a stage based on The Town with No Name, which is a comically bad PC game. Now, you know, I can tell the floor is sliding even if the floor is blank. So that's one issue. Also, the scale is definitely off. It needs to be shrunk. Probably look better shrunk. Hide all how bad it is. But I mean, the game is this bad. The game's like notoriously just ugly and awful and it's bad. And I think I might actually have kept a not Shane character from Mugen, so I might put them here. I'll have to double check. I might have deleted them. I can't remember. But yeah, I'll be shrinking this. Got a Flintstone stage here. And it works perfectly. Kung Fu Man's line is done correctly. He's standing perfectly on the line, which is how you're supposed to do it. Which I see a lot of people mess up. And in the background, this cloud goes by. And it's got Mario or Granddad's face in it, I guess. I never played that famous ROM hack that this is referencing. But, yeah, I'm keeping it. The Sims 4 Meme House. Now, if we follow the rule, once again, that humans are supposed to be about Kung Fu Man's height, the scale is obviously wrong. Because the humans are actually taller than Kung Fu Man, even when they're in the distance. Man, this stage is gonna get me, like, copyright strike. But, it's actually pretty nice. It's, like, really crisp, which is, like, a really well-done screenshot rip. So, yeah, I'll probably just be scaling this and re-releasing it. Got a stage based on Takeshi's Challenge. Now, while you could argue that Kung Fu Man is supposed to be the size of Takeshi in the background, I'm not going to worry about that, because shrinking the background would screw up this part of the stage, like, easily here. Yeah, there's a lot to this stage, a lot more than you think would be there. There's a bunch of animations going on, and it's pretty wide. Yeah, see how wide it is? Yeah, I'm gonna keep this stage, and I'm not even gonna bother messing with it. I'm just gonna keep it as is. We have a stage here based on Hard Time, a video game I've never heard of. And if we walk to the right here, like, we can tell that the scale of the characters next to these prison cells is way off. It's not too bad, though. We have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stage, Ojama Country. Or is that Ojama Country? Well, first off, there's a bunch of animations, which immediately makes me like it. And the scale doesn't seem off, because who knows what size these monsters are supposed to be compared to people. Not to mention, maybe I could buy you walking that far into the background and being that size by the time you got to the doors. But, yeah, it's fine, and it's pretty good, actually, so I'm keeping it. We got a San Andreas-based stage, the Los Santos Inside Track. It's one of those betting stages from the game. Now, I expected this stage to suck hardcore. Like, whenever I see, like, a PS2 stage, I just expect it to be, like, the worst rip possible. However, it's not too bad in that aspect. The floor is sliding, though, and it needs to be rescaled. Because, like, I look so tiny. Yeah, just... the stage needs to be shrunk down a bit, and the floor needs to be fixed. I can do both of those easily. We got a Yakuza-based stage. Now, I freaking love the Yakuza franchise, so I'm happy to see that the stage isn't a total hot mess. It's actually ripped pretty well. Like, this is managing your colors, like, confidently. Like, I don't know if they cut this up to do it, or they just, you know, managed them pretty well. But just because you have a lot of colors doesn't have to make it look like dog shit. So, yeah. No exploits forward at the top. It's fine. Definitely keeping. We got a Dwarf Fortress stage, which I've never played. And outside of, out of context, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, what the hell is this? Well, at least there's no sliding that I can see on the floor. I guess if this is what they're going for... Okay, that looks weird, the way the floor's tilting, but... I guess if this is what they were going for, it's fine. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one or not. Definitely not Sage treasuring it. Now we have the Desert Bus stage. I could explain what Desert Bus is, but better off just looking it up. Now, in theory, the stage is fine. However, the way that you're looking through the windshield here, it kind of looks like, since the stage in the background is also tilting, and it isn't static, it kind of looks like the bus is following you. Like, not like you're looking through them through the windshield and following them, like the bus is tilting to follow them around. Like, it's like a pivoting bus. But, so yeah, I think they probably should have just gone for like a straight screenshot, because that effect is pretty weird. So yeah, if this was just like the still image of any like particular point, I think it might have came off better. But it's fine. Got an Advance Wars stage here. And while it does have that sort of grimy effect, I think that's completely intentional. So I'm not going to knock it for that. The floor looks like it's doing some weird tilting, which it shouldn't do. But other than that, it's fine. It's quite nice, actually. Another Bad Dude stage. Now, this is supposed to be a train we're walking atop. So I immediately have to ask, how much of this train are we actually seeing? Because, once again, I overthink scaling, I know. But, a person can easily stand up inside of a train car. And it looks like Kung Fu Man cannot do that without, like, hitting his head on the roof. So, Kung Fu Man needs to be shrunk down, or the player needs to be shrunk down in this stage to make it look more natural. Oh, that scene there doesn't look nice. Moving background. Yeah, there's like a scene that's gonna come up in a second. It's just pretty weird. But maybe that's natural to the game's run. But yeah, I think it's decent. It just needs some tweaking. Got a Hollow Knight stage, the start of the King's Passage. And it looks really nice, but if you try to zoom, the top is clearly cut off, which isn't that hard of a fix. But yeah, I like this. I'll be keeping it. Okay, Friday Night Funkin' Big Brother mod. Once again, we're super tiny compared to the characters. No problems beside that I can see. Expurgation from Friday Night Funkin'. Why does this sound like Goofy? But once again, the characters are super tiny when they probably shouldn't be. That's the only mistake I see. A variant to the last stage. Man, it takes a while to load this stuff. Once again, characters are super tiny. Yeah, look at that. Damn. It's a nice animation going on back there. The player characters aren't sliding, but the people in the background clearly are. Yeah, boyfriend and girlfriend are just sliding around in the background, which isn't right considering they should be rooted to the floor they're standing on. Another Friday Night Funkin'. This stage is almost too basic. Reminds me of that Bored Ape stage. So at least this stage doesn't have a disgusting NFT character in the background. Even more Friday Night Funkin'. I'm pretty happy with this. Is this part of the real game, or does somebody like hate girlfriend and like wanted to suffer in one of their mods? Christmas Friday Night Funkin'. It's pretty decent. I like it. I mean, it's still got the scaling problem, of course. Maybe the floor is sliding, it's kind of hard to tell. But, yeah, I like it. Okay, we got an evil variant of the Christmas stage. Floor seems to be sliding still. And I find the Christmas tree pretty funny because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be blood, but it just looks like ketchup because of the way it's drawn. Like, it looks a little too solid to be blood. Like, blood should be dripping all over it, like a more of a stain that's wrapped around instead of this congealed blob that's around it. Limo from Friday Night Funkin'. Well, floor is fine. Typical scaling issue. I like the cars that are going by really fast in the foreground. All these devil Arsenio halls in the background are fine. I dated myself right there, because I know who Arsenio Hall is. Okay, we have another version of the Philly stage from Friday Night Funkin'. Now, when I compared it to the stage that was previous in this episode, there isn't too many, like, obvious differences, but it does seem like you can see a little bit more of the stage in this version. So if I had to pick one of the two, I guess I'd go with this version. But that's, you know, just superficial. So, yeah, this is fine. We got Weeb from Friday Night Funkin'. First off, the floor is clearly sliding. Like, you can see that immediately. Yeah. I like this pixel art take on Friday Night Funkin'. So, yeah, that's cool. We got the Weeb Roses variant. And the main difference here is the girls in the background look really stressed the fuck out on this one. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah, it's still nice. Definitely keeping. We got the Weeb Spirit variant. And this is clearly the night version, and the trees have lost all their leaves. What's funny is, there's no sliding on this one. I don't think there was on the last one either. It's only that one version of the stage that has the sliding problem. Okay, we have an older version of the Corpse Party opening stage that we had in the, maybe even the first video. This version, however, has this, like, little clip before the stage starts. And frankly, I think it's better off without it. And here's the updated stage without the clip. Yeah, I think it's better without that clip. So, if I had to pick one of the two, I would clearly just pick the updated version. And that's the last stage from this video.